In addition to the mean, another useful way of discussing where the data tends to fall, or where, in some sense, where the center of the data is to talk about the median. And the median is defined as the midpoint of the values in order, okay, from the minimum to the maximum. So the median always has, if you've sorted the data, there's always half of them that are smaller in value and half of them that are larger in value. And so I think it'll be most straightforward to just look at some numbers here. So again, let's just 4, 12, 6, 7, 1. Okay, now the median, this would work out to be true, but actually let me fudge the data a little bit. Let's call that 11. Okay, so 4, 12, 6, 7, 11. One thing to bear in mind is that we need to order the data, or we need to sort it. Okay, so we can visually just rewrite this in order. Okay, and now the median is going to be the center value. Okay, so that is going to be the 7 here because there are equal numbers below and above in terms of value. And it's important to remember to order it because if we don't, we'll select that middle value as 6, and that's not right. And so the median we just write as median equal to 7. And that's all there is to it. Now, in this scenario, we had 5 values, so that was pretty simple. If we only have 4, okay, so we have 4 values here. I should have written that in a different color, but here, if we're looking for the median, again, we need to sort it. 3, 4, 6, 7, and now the middle falls in between these 2 values. Okay, and so in that case, we go ahead and we just take a simple average, or the mean, of these 2 numbers. Okay, and in this case, again, it's quite simple. We get a median of 5. Okay, halfway in the middle of 4 and 6. Yeah, and again, so just to drive that home, if we had, let me just write out some more here. If it's 3, 4, 7, and 8, we still take the midpoint here, right? But it's not 5, it's the midpoint of 4 and 7, which is 5.5. Okay, so the midpoint becomes the mean of those 2 numbers. And so largely, it's often that you'll see both the mean and the median reported, because they tell the story of the center of the data, but they tell it a little differently. Okay, and we miss out on a little information if we only give one of them. Sometimes they're very similar, but sometimes they can vary quite a bit, and that contains some information as well. So we'll next look at how we can think about the 2 as when they're both reported, what information that gives us. I do want to just mention one other method of kind of giving a sense of where the center of the data falls. Can be the idea of the mode. And this is probably used more commonly with qualitative data. The mode simply means the observation that appears most frequently. Okay, so in our case, we don't actually have a mode in any of these, but you could imagine data that was something like 4, 5, 5, 12, 19, and in that case, 5 would be the mode. Okay, so it's the observation that shows up the most frequently. Again, you see it probably reported most in qualitative data where there's just a class that shows up the most. So, the mode may be brown eyes or something. Okay, so used less frequently, but you will hear it talked about. Oftentimes, you'll just hear it referenced as the most common result. You may not even hear the term mode employed